So far, we have used the functionality which is available and by default every time we start a new nim file. This can be extended with modules, which give more functionality for some specific topic. Some of the most used nim modules are string utilities, additional functionality when dealing with strings, sequence utilities, additional functionality for sequences, math for mathematical functions, logarithms, square roots, trigonometry, times, measure and deal with time. Awesome. So basically a standard library, right? But there are many more, both in what's called the standard library and in the Nimble package manager. Standard library, if we'll take a peek, we can scroll in and there's each is a link to a library or whatever you call it, module, which is basically a lot of code. So lots of functionality. That's awesome. And the Nimble package manager is basically all the other packages the community wrote. And hopefully soon enough in the series of streams, we'll be writing our own package or module that will be available for everyone to use. So very exciting. Importing a module. If we want to import a module and all of its functionality, all we have to do is put import module name in our file. Okay, simple. This is commonly done at the top of files so we can easily see what our code uses. Now I'll put stress commonly because we already saw in some examples that you can put it somewhere in the middle of the code. That'll be fine. Okay, so we have import string utils. You get two variables, my string with white space, exclamation mark. So we could do echo split. Using split from string utils modules, it splits the string in a sequence of words. Perfect. That's simple. You don't need to write your own. So I guess it'll be sequence of strings. My string with white space. Awesome. A to upper ASCII. Okay. And echo B repeat 5. So number 4, repeat is also from string utils module. It repeats either a character or a whole string the requested amount of time. So if we would do copy it and just paste it here, right? We'll run it. We have all that. But if we'll put, instead of a character, we'll just do a string like that and save it and run it. Yeah, we've got a whole string repeated. They didn't lie in the tutorial. Wow. To the users coming from other programming languages, especially Python, the way that imports work in Nim might seem wrong. If that's the case, this is the recommended reading. Okay, I'll read that later, I guess. Oh, look at that. Nice article about the topic. Cool. I'll evaluate it and see if it's worth talking about it on a stream. So then we have another example. Import math. So we import the math module. We have 30, for example, degrees, and C radians is C deg to rad. And that's converting degrees to radians. That's something that was built into math. And we have also sine. I don't know what to call it in English. And the other thing would be round. So sine takes radians. Okay. We round also from math module the result to at most 2 decimal places. Otherwise, the result will be this ugly thing. Okay, so you round and to how many places? And okay, this is a good example to something to remember. So when we have this code here, right, we call sine of this, and then we call on it round. But nothing is stopping us from doing something else. Instead of doing that, we do round that number and then comma 2. And this should be exactly the same code. So that's the thing that I really like it. You can call it in a way that many programming languages are basically limited to, or at least you will need to declare 2 ways of calling things, which I did sometimes when writing my own code. I was frustrated. Why can't I call it? When I define something that way, I have to then do the other way around, and it's just painful. I like that, hey, do whatever you want. Call it however you want. It's still the same code. Very much like it. Okay. Oh, math module also has the power operator for calculating powers of a number. Ah, look at that. So the whole module defines its own operator. That is, wow, super, very awesome. Okay. Creating your own. Oftentimes we have so much code in a project that it makes sense to split it into pieces that each does a certain thing. If you create 2 files side by side in a folder, let's call them first file name and second file name, you can import one from the other as module. So let's do the first file name. Okay, go here, we'll create first file.nim and paste it. So we have plus and minus. Okay, and then here we have the little note. Notice how the plus procedure now has an asterisk after its name. This tells Nim that another file importing this one will be able to use this procedure. Oh, so it's basically declared as, in JavaScript, that will be an export. In other languages, that will be public, I guess, at least not private. Okay. By contrast, this will not be visible when importing this file. Okay. And then we have second file name. When we can import this, we'll go over this. Let's just create it. Second file.nim. And we paste it. Instant the error here with the minus. Minus doesn't have the asterisk. So here, we import the first file.nim. We don't need to put the .nim extension here. Yep, that's assumed. This will work fine and output 15 as it's declared in the first file and visible to us. Because it says a star. However, the number 3 will throw an error as the minus procedure is not visible since it doesn't have an asterisk. Okay, and just to make it, in case you have more than, okay, let's get back to the code first. So if we wanted this to not be an error, of course, all we need to do is just put a star here, save, and that makes it, accessible outside of this file, and therefore it works here. Awesome. Or not, minus. I think this might be just, oh, I saved it again, and again it freaked out. Let's try to run it. It works. I guess Visual Studio Code isn't happy about that. Oh well, I guess we'll fix that at some point. Okay, in case you have more than these 2 files, you might want to organize them in a subdirectory or more than one subdirectory with the following directory structure. So we have the main thing, my other subdirectory. So we have our subdirectory with a third file. My other subdirectory has 5th and 4th, while the main directory has the 1st and 2nd. Okay, that makes sense. If you want to import all other files in your second file, this is how you do it. So we have the second file here. So we import the first file, and then the third file will be here. So we just do, my subdirectory / this. And for the other subdirectory, look at that. We just make an array of those so that we don't need to, repeat it so many times. Okay, that makes sense. Very simple. And it's interesting how we can have those spaces here. Cool. Guess it makes it readable nicely. Hey, this didn't even have any exercises. That's it when it comes to modules. All right, not very exciting, but I guess there's a lot more to that topic.